Hey man, have you ever seen KAW? Excuse me? Have you ever seen KAW? KAW. No, it's not KAW, it's KAW! See the crow? Yeah? KAW. No, it's KAW! I'm not saying KAW, right? What are you, foreign or something? It's fucking KAW! Is that a killer bird movie? KAW! Alright, KAW. Looks alright. Moods from 22 Shots and Moods likes it. I don't know who that is. Mr. Parker's gonna kick your ass for that one. Just say KAW just one time. Literally, just one time. Just
I'm
once.
not saying
just once. Just once.
Just
once.
I'm not saying it's stupid like that. I'm not.
Just once.
No, I'm not gonna say it's stupid.
Just once.
It's KAW. It's fucking KAW. It's
Just once.
a killer bird
Just
movie,
once.
like Alfred Hitchcock.
Just
kind
say
of
KAW
inspired
just one time.
Killer
Literally,
bird.
just one
KAW.
time.
KAW.
KAW!
KAW.
KAW!
KAW.
KAW!
KAW.
KAW! KAW! My boy, Blue. What's going on, guys? Welcome to 31 Days of Horror. I am Morgan Film Fan. Let's jump into some scares. KAW, funny name, is a film that was filmed at the end of 2005, released in 2006, but I also saw some sources that say this film came out in 2007. But we're just going to go for 2006 for argument's sake, because that's what IMDb tells me. This is a TV film, and let me tell you, this feels absolutely like a TV film. Got fluff in my hat. When you watch this absolutely feels low budget, and as soon as it starts, when I started to think about this being a TV film, it made perfect sense to me, because the atmosphere just screams cable TV, and it's very tame, like when it comes to violence, language, all that kind of nature. But it does have Sean Patrick Flanery here, who's very famous for Boondock Saints. I think that's probably the film that most people know him from, and it's cool to see him in here. It's also cool because during this film I saw a license plate on one of the vehicles that said Waterdown, and Waterdown is like 20 minutes away from where I live. So I was wondering if this is a Canadian film, and looking it up on IMDb, this is probably one of the strangest productions that I've ever seen, because the amount of filming locations in this thing and how widespread they are is ridiculous. So we got a little bit of Los Angeles in here, we got a little bit of Waterdown, we got a little bit of Flamborough, Ontario, which literally is like 15 minutes away from me, and then we've got Scotland. So, unless IMDb is lying and kind of exaggerating a bunch of stuff, this film was shot literally all over the place. But what we have going on here is we have this very small town, very country feeling. I like the vibe of the town itself, at least, because it's very farm town. You get a Mennonite story in here as well, so it feels very local and very county-like. And what happens is Sean Patrick Flanery's character, whose name is Wayne, is on his last day of the job as a sheriff. So he's about to retire as that job and go look for something else, but he has to spend his last day basically fighting crows. And where these crows came about is, they just started attacking the locals, they started attacking people. One farmer gets pecked to death at the beginning of the film. He's shown in a barn, and he runs over a crow accidentally with a tractor, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, is this actually going to be the plot of the movie? Are the crows going to seek revenge because one of their crow buddies died by a tractor, and that's going to set off this entire crow army to go start attacking the humans? Because that would be really corny but really funny at the same time. However, that's not what happens. But this guy gets crowed to death, or pecked to death by crows, I should say. And then Wayne, played by Sean Patrick Flanery, goes to investigate. There's this other local who's a bus driver. He also encounters a bunch of crows. And there's a lot of scenes with rifles and shotguns, taking down crows, which I have to say is probably not the greatest weapon to take down crows. You'd probably want like a flamethrower or something like that, because if you're gonna start shooting at crows with a rifle, I think you're gonna have a little bit of trouble unless you have absolutely precise aim and like you've been in the shooting range for 20 years or something like that. Then, if you've got your target practice in, maybe you can kill some crows with a rifle. However, I would think it's pretty hard to do so otherwise. But it goes from there. Funny enough, this film gave me a lot of Jeepers Creepers 2 vibes, especially because there is this huge segment in this film that takes place in a school bus where there's this traveling group of, I think they're playing basketball. It's a bunch of high school girls. Of course, the bus breaks down in the middle of the county road, and then they start to get attacked by crows, and it feels very Jeepers Creepers, except instead of a creeper, it's a bunch of crows. I wasn't the biggest fan of this film, unfortunately, because this film commits the ultimate sin when it comes to, killer creature films, is that a lot of this film is quite boring. I would say about 75% of this film drags, and it's just not entertaining. I mean, it has its moments, absolutely. The bus scene is great, but it has its moments also where there's like, you know, people hiding out in some diner called Betty's Cookhouse, and the crows are like banging into the windows, and everybody's trying to board everything up. Like, those scenes are cool, but a lot of it is just really CGI. And I'm not saying terrible CGI. I mean, this is nothing like friggin' Birdemic or anything like that. We're way, way ahead of Birdemic when it comes to this, but it still has that CGI taint to it. And you do get a lot of practical effects, of course. So you get real crows, and you see certain scenes with real, practical crows like dying and stuff like that, or on the ground, or kind of flapping all over the place. But when it comes to the attack scenes, you do unfortunately get a little bit too much CGI. And there's this one scene in particular where Crow is eating a dog, for example, and the dog is practical, but then when it shows the crow eating the dog, it turns into CG. And you could, like, the CG dog is a completely different shade of fur than the practical dog. And I'm just like, that doesn't even look like the same dog. It's like, what are you doing here? I understand it's a TV movie and everything, and for a turn your brain off kind of feature, it's fine. Like, if you have this on in the background on a Sunday afternoon, it's not god awful or anything like that, but as a cinematic experience, I mean, it's not designed to be a cinematic experience, but it does get boring a lot, and that's unfortunate because you can have a lot of fun with a film that's about killer crows that's called KAW. You know what I mean? And when you have that opportunity and you don't seize it, it kind of leaves you like, that was, I was expecting like something bonkers, and I just got something average, you know what I mean? But there is one actress in here who's a TV actress. I looked her up. She's pretty much only in TV films. Gorgeous, gorgeous girl. She's one of the girls that plays, like on the basketball team, who's on the bus. Her name is Doris. She has this very Kristen Stewart face, but more sporty. It's almost as if Kristen Stewart wasn't so white Wonder Bread. And she had a little bit more spunk and personality in the facial features. It would be this girl named Doris. The actress, I forget her name, Alexandra something probably, but gorgeous girl, like beautiful girl, very, very hot. Definitely the hottest girl in the film, 100% hands down. And then we get, of course, the crow, like where they came from, because I was waiting for that. I was hoping this wasn't going to turn into a film that didn't give any explanation why the crows started attacking. But what happened is the Mennonites had cattle, and the cattle got sick, and of course they introduced mad cow disease, which is a complete overused trope, but the cows got sick, and then they died, and then the crows started eating the cows, and they got the disease from the cows, and then they began to have mad crow disease, I guess, and that's what caused them to start attacking the humans. We have a little bit of a War of the Worlds style ending where the crows just basically start dying off. I like the climax because there's this like gas station explosion, and one guy sacrifices himself to go blow up the gas station and kind of get rid of all the swarm of crows going around. But it concludes with your average, like, the disease took over with the crows, and then they just kind of died off, and then you have your absolute last frame of the film, which is the biggest trope in the world, where it's a jump scare and you think everything is over, but shoo, black, and then roll credits. So it's that kind of a movie. But I mean, I can't complain too much because it is a TV film, and it's basically to be played in the background. But I can't lie, and I have to say that I was expecting a lot more from this for the kind of film that it is. Sean Patrick Flannery does really good, as he always does. I mean, you got Kristen Booth in here, which I didn't look her up, so I don't know what other roles she's done, but she's all right in here too. And she plays Sean Patrick Flannery's girlfriend or wife, probably girlfriend, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, I mean, you get crow attacks, but they're just so plain. They're so vanilla. Like, this is a vanilla creature feature, and you know, I was just expecting something a lot more fun with the name KAW, but I mean, it is what it is. That's all I got. Like, with this film, it is what it is. Like, the Jeepers Creepers 2 vibes were cool to see in here. And some of the night scenes are nice to see. It's nice to see crows slamming into windows and all that, but it's just an average film, so it's all right. So far it has made it to last place, but again, I gave it a 2 out of 5, so I have seen worse. It's not god awful or anything like that. It's just something to play in the background on a Sunday afternoon, like I said. So that's what I got on KAW. It was directed by Sheldon Wilson, and go check it out if you can find it somewhere. Stay tuned for more 31 Days of Horror. I'm going to be coming back with many more reviews right up until the 31st. All first-time watches, as always. And keep it spooky, guys. So until next review, have a good one. Till next time, cheers.